Here's it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to BK Crypto Echo, where we echo the sounds and voices of women in technology, crypto, blockchain, NFTs. We are here today with the lovely ladies of Jump Out Girls.
Woo woo!
Woo woo! Exactly.
Listen, at this point, we gotta celebrate. We had some technical difficulties, but again, being in this space, we are used to this.
This is true.
So thanks for the patience.
This is true. And if you haven't, please take a moment to follow us. Actually, follow the Jump Out Girls as well on their channel. And we'll be sure to put a link to their channel in the description a little later on this video. And we always like to say, we always like to begin our conversations with, what made you decide to invest in Bitcoin? So let's start there, and then we'll go into let the conversation evolve. Go.
All right.
Who wants to start?
I'll start. So I think to be very honest, what made me learn and find out about Bitcoin was money.
I hear that.
So, make a long story short, I was overseas working in in a war zone, and all these guys were talking about how they were making money from this coin, and I had no idea what the coin that they were talking about. I probably wasn't even pronouncing it correctly. I was like, what is a Bitcoin? What, like a coin on blockchain? Like, what is this? Like, I had no idea. So then at the time, during that year, that time period, it went up like from, let's just say, like 9,000 to, I don't know, like 12 in a short period. And I was like, oh, hold on, wait, like, I need this right now. So at the original time, it was literally money. But then obviously, as we learned about it, we understood it more, we grew, we really like basically deep dived into Bitcoin. It became more about removing the middleman and getting rid of fiat currency. So it was a transition. So it became just jumping on to the idea of this quick money that people were making, to then full circle understanding what it meant to really get out of this traditional finance terrible system and understand that, for all this time, we really didn't understand how we've been basically, I don't want to say getting robbed, but basically getting robbed.
Getting duped. We keep it real. And I've been watching y'all, so y'all keep it real. That's why we enjoy y'all. And I think most people like the truth, right? And this system has benefited the majority of that 1%, right? And then the majority of the 1% enjoys the lower class and the working class, and they stay wealthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Maintaining that structure.
Right. Maintain that structure, that philosophy. And so you jumped on it and was like, I gotta now share this. And this is why we're having this conversation, because regular folks can jump on too. It can echo in their life, right? Financial freedom, abundance, the ability to create what they want.
Yeah.
So
that was my take. And then obviously I let my family know, because we're all, she's my cousin, and I was like, look, hey, I don't know what this is, but we got to do something with it.
I hear that. So Charmaine, what made you decide to invest in Bitcoin? Oh, is she frozen?
Yeah.
She must be on the highway.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Can
Yep, there you go, darling. Yep.
I haven't moved anywhere, and my service starts.
Oh, You know, we can't. You're breaking up a lot. I know, right? Because we were having this technical difficulty before we went on. So we'll have Charmaine, just jump off and say something right now.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes.
Say something further?
She's gonna jump off.
Yeah. Okay.
So look, we're just look. Today is a great day. It's Gemini season. I just wanted to, shout. Rashana, you're a Gemini, right?
No, I'm a Taurus, but I'm all into. I do a lot of financial soul healing, so I incorporate numerology and astrology, and I flow with the energy.
Okay.
So Gemini energy is all about communication. Ain't no retrograde. We in a new beginning, so we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna communicate. We're gonna bring love in this Love June number 6, right?
All right.
And we're gonna flow with the duality of it all.
Yeah.
Amen.
Are you a Gemini?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I love my Gemini people.
So there you
I'm
go.
Aquarius.
Right. We connect. So bring that air.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said Kim and I are fire signs.
Exactly. No,
your air sign.
signs.
Your air sign.
Air signs. Air. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's okay, Jim. I love y'all. Right.
Too,
Y'all
me too,
multitask
Gemini
good.
people. Exactly.
So now we're going to have this amazing communication because we know that right now we're in the power of your energy. And so we're not going to let any of this fret because we know how to work through this. And so while you share and you are like traditional markets, traditional way of living and lifing, what conducive to you to where you wanted to go. And were you in the military? You said that. Were you in the military?
No, so I was just working overseas as a contractor, and being overseas, it just gives you, when you kind of step out your element of like every day under, like when you're in your same routine, same structure, and you kind of step outside of that, it's, you start to kind of look at everything differently. You start to kind of realize different things. And I was able to kind of just focus and really just kind of deep dive into different things about the traditional finance system, right? Like it was a lot of learning, it was a lot of growth. And thank God for it, just because Bitcoin literally, like blockchain technology literally changed our lives.
Yeah.
Completely. It just wasn't like it just wasn't from a financial basis. It was from like a health basis, just life basis, just really.
You're saying that it changed your life. So how did your upbringing shape your relationship with money? Like, so because there clearly was a shift from what you learned either as a child till now. So how did that change? Correct. Or what was your experience like growing up? Because I'm sure a lot of people can identify.
Yeah, so like the experience growing up was a traditional way of, you go to college, you get a good job, put your money in the bank, save your money, invest in the 401k. And while those things, I'm not saying those things are bad things, because most people, a lot of people are still unbanked. A lot of people don't even have bank accounts, right? So I'm not saying that those things are bad. And I'm not saying that those things aren't an option as to what to do with your money. But what it did was, it was like, you always have to go this one way, this one straight arrow, right? And it's like, no, you can go do different things, right? You can go step outside the box. And I think for me, from my traditional finance upbringing of, the traditional way of going to school and getting a job, and, it's like, you're also just diving deeper into debt.
Girl, I know.
All the traditional ways of go get a house, go get a car.
Oh, and they want your parents to mortgage their house to send you to college.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. I remember I told my mother, you are not doing that one there. I was like, I will work it out. So after my first semester, I was just like, I'm gonna figure it out. And I actually put college on my credit cards back in the day. That's what I did. It was ridiculous. What'd you say?
You understand?
Yeah.
No, I said we understand, like Maine and I were in school in the same city at one point. We were in New York City, and it's just like, what in the world? You know, like all this money we're spending, and you know, we're trying to live our lives, and you're just, it's like, this can't be right. This isn't the message that we give it as to this is how you become successful.
So I see Charmaine is back with us. How you doing, Charmaine?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Charmaine? Oh,
yeah, it's kind of like a back. We can hear you. Well, you look beautiful.
This is unreal.
I know. Oh God.
Maybe you can share what made you jump on to Bitcoin.
Different sources. And
yes, we can.
We can't hear you. We can't understand. We can't understand you. Yeah, we can't. We're gonna have to have her come back in. Let me see here. Yeah, let me see if she can come back in.
This is what our family does. You know, we just throw it from one person to the next. You know, I learn about something, she learns about something, we throw it to me. I had bad communication, now she got bad communication. This is
isn't that the power of community and how you deal with what's being thrown to you in the real world,
exactly,
right? How do you deal with that? While she is basically, figuring things out. Quick question. How does your cultural background impact your views on wealth and prosperity?
Okay. So I think with in terms of our, cultural views and in terms of wealth and prosperity, unfortunately for, in the community that, we were raised and the community that we're all part of, wealth isn't discussed enough. Right. I think that, Maine and I were very much fortunate to be around people in our family that talks about advancement in life in terms of what they thought wealth was. But wealth is so much more than that, right? So like, I think a lot of times in our community, wealth is attributed to what level of government job you have. We don't really, like, if you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, obviously. If you went to college, if you have this house, if you have this type of car, wealth isn't really discussed from what now Maine and I feel like is more so like that passive free time that you get from wealth, right? So that passive free time that you also get from wealth also attributes down to your health. So are you able to go work out in the morning? Are you able to eat?
Yes.
Are you able to do these things, or are you rushing and you got to go to McDonald's because you got to get to this job and then you got to go to your part-time job, so you got to grab something from KFC, so I think we had to do a lot of relearning, right? Because what we thought, again, I'm not trying to like downplay or shade anyone who's doing this, because we've done it as well. We had to relearn and understand that wealth is just so much bigger than just an object or an item.
Wealth is freedom. Wealth is freedom.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of Myron Golden?
Yes.
So to your point, I was listening to him, and he was basically just sharing how he made $4 million, right, within 10 years. But he said he had to go through it. He said he had to go through it. He had to go through the pain, but the pain helped him really want it. But what he said is this: he asked a question. He goes, when it comes to different wealth, he said, it's your time versus your money, right? Most people, right? He goes, would you rather be 40 years in working to become a millionaire, or a year to become a millionaire? Because now you're thinking about your time. And everyone in the audience was like, oh my God, in a year. And like you just said, we don't realize how valuable our time is, because most people are working for 40 years, 50 years. And then when they're ready to retire, they're transitioning. They're now passing away and not enjoying the life or the moment. And so I think that, to your point, in this time, in this space, we actually have the opportunity to enjoy our time.
Right.
Our time with our family, our time with our friends, our time with ourselves, right?
Yes.
To really think of who we are.
Right.
And that is important. And we're not, and I think what we're saying is that we're not knocking people working on the 5, but if you do have a dream and you do want to enjoy your time, you got to reconsider maybe investing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And restructuring that mindset too, because like a lot of times, even if you do have the 9 to 5, are you really taking 20% of your income and investing it? Are you
There we
taking-
go.
Right.
Right.
All that's important.
Right.
Right. All that's important. So it's just like there's still ways. And here's the other thing I want to say. There's still ways to become financially free and still work a 9 to 5.
100%.
Right? Like that's it's not undoable. It's like you can actually do it and set up additional streams by leveraging your 9 to 5. And I think that's another thing that Maine and I learned was how to really leverage. What is the leverage, right? Like do we really understand that as a culture and a society? What does it mean to borrow against yourself, right? Because you're
Talk about that. Talk about that.
Right, like you're borrowing against yourself. Like, so when Maine and I found out about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain, we had to borrow against ourselves because we had to take the time to understand it, learn it, make mistakes. Oh my God, did we make some mistakes? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then on the flip side of that, when you get into cryptocurrency and you get into blockchain, you are becoming your own bank.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no middleman. There's no, let me call the teller and tell them, hey, let me get access to this. Or hey, can you show me how to log into my account? No, it's you. It's nobody else, right?
Yeah.
That's scary. To be honest with you, that's very scary. And it's a lot of pressure. But once
that's what scares a lot of people though.
Yes.
You sound good, man.
I like it.
Yeah, really. So, Maine, let us know what got you into what made you decide to invest in Bitcoin. Start there.
It says my connection is losing again. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I had a couple of confirmations, couple of people were talking about it or whatever, and then someone at my job one day, she was talking about it. I was like, I've heard about this before. Long story short, so I get on the horn, call the cousin, call the brother, and I'm like, listen, I keep hearing about this, so this is something I feel like we need to pay attention to, because I'm the type of person, if something keeps coming up in my space more than once from different areas or different people, I feel like it's something that I need to pay attention to.
Right? Exactly.
So we literally started taking like this deep dive. I don't know how much Fatima told you, like around COVID and all this other stuff, because my phone was breaking up. But that's when we really started to really focus on this passive income, learning other things, because like she said, it's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. We have no problem in that. We did it, done it, do it, whatever. We'll do it all over if we have to. It's just the time that you have to put in it to get the things that we want, because everybody wants different things that we wanted out of it. And so we were like, how are we going to cut this time in half? Like, we need some way of learning how to cut it in half. And so it's funny because not only did this learning about Bitcoin, we learned about so many other things. That's why we became like these, like this, I don't want to say a financial influencer or whatever, because it was just more than just Bitcoin though. But I would say something like that, because we learned about so many other things that we could put our money into, that people have been putting their money into for years, that have been making them money, insurance policies, many different things. And so we were like, yeah, we're on to something. So Bitcoin overall for us changed our whole entire perspective of how we looked at everything. Like, and I know for a fact, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting just to kind of learn about, Bitcoin and what it is and how it works and blah, 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 blah. And that was not the case at all. So once we all kind of came on the same page, and like I said, after me hearing about it for a while, I called them. Have you all heard about it? Let's talk about it. And then from there, we just kind of took it from there.
And so I want to segue. I want to actually jump into something that you just said. How do you prioritize between saving and investing in cryptocurrency versus you spending on everyday needs?
How do I prioritize it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because a lot of people have a difficult time.
How do you prioritize saving and investing in cryptocurrency versus spending in needs? Because, you know, this is a market right now and you got to be in a certain mindset. Some people are like, well, I need this and I want to feel and experience every day. But then some people who really understand where we're at, they're like, I'm prioritizing my savings and investing like every week, every month. You know what I mean?
Like forego the Starbucks, forego, you know, some of these other things that you don't necessarily do every day, right?
No, I totally understand. So for me, well, for us, for both of us or whatever, we can honestly say that we know that we don't want to be working at 60. Okay. So it's more so we're not now don't get me wrong. Yes, you know, we've been younger and we've thought about the instant gratification, thought about right now, whatever. But it's just like a certain age, once we got a certain age, something like clicked and was like, hold on. Because you see older people who are still struggling, who are still out there trying to work, trying to get the basic necessities because of whatever the situation is. And we have been blessed to have people who have made it happen and then people who have struggled to give us both sides of it to where we're like, we know where we want to be at. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I realize that it's a lot of things that I really don't need right now. Like it's, you know, as a black mom, we have food at home. You get what I'm saying? That's very big. Like we have food at home. I can make McDonald's at home. You know, because it's little things like what to eat that can become pricey that you don't even know about. We talked about like this $40 a day. Like I literally talked about it to a couple of my people saying like, do you know, like let's just think about something as little as you every day after school you're spending $40 a day to buy your kids something to eat because they're hungry. Do you know how much that equates to? You get what I'm saying? Do you know how much money you'll have? And it's really little money. It doesn't, and that's what I think. Even in the beginning, I thought, oh my God, I have to have so many thousands and thousands of dollars before I could start to figure out saving, investing. But no, the little bit is where it starts off little, and the little adds up to a lot. So for me, to go back to your initial question is, it's like, I just know for me, I don't want to be struggling in my 50s. I want to be, you see how I look like I'm on the beach right here? This is how I want to be when I am older in my life, and knowing that I have things set up for my children and my children's children, because it's getting terrible. I mean, by the minute, it's getting more and more terrible. And it's like, you have to change that mindset of having longevity, or you're not going to have longevity.
So I want to jump into what you just said on echo even deeper. I'm a financial counselor by day. So what you're saying is what I see every day on my 9 to 5. And these people literally, I'm talking about clients who are in their 60s and their 70s who are like, I don't have enough pension. I can't afford to pay my rent anymore. I need to go to Housing Connect to get support from HRA. Like I'm seeing it and I'm like you thinking like, whoa, right? And some of my clients who are part of HRA, right? And they're not working, but they're looking for a job. It's the mindset. I tell them, I don't care if it's $5 a week or a month, put it in Bitcoin. Because like to what you said, we have this big idea that we need a lot of money to invest. That's society. They have pushed that to us. But we don't even know, like even Jasmine right now is a coin that was like 0.0027. That was last year. If you would have put $40 in there, that could have got you $500,000 and could be worth now, let's just say about $12,000. But when you're not in it, you don't realize that these are some of the things that you can implement for $40 a day, $40 a week to change your life. I love that you're able to express to the community how real it is, because we have this big notion that we can't afford to get in investing, and that is not true.
Yep. It's not true at all.
You know,
and I like to say that it's not about sacrificing, because that energy and that word is negative. I say it's about discipline and obedience.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What do you want to create?
Absolutely.
I think, like Maine was saying, the priority became pay your basic needs, your mortgage, your rent, you know, your whatever your essential items to live day to day. But all the extra stuff, that's money that could be reinvested into. And it's not just, like she said, it's not just crypto. It's not just Bitcoin. It's other things that you like. You can invest into an IRA. You can invest into a 401k. You can invest into a whole life policy. There are so many.
That part right there.
Yeah, that you can be reinvesting this money into, and it's just like you talking about you don't have it, but yeah, you went out to eat. You spent $50, $40.
Exactly.
You know, and that was the reality that we were like, wow. Especially, you know, when the world shut down, we really had some really deep dives, and we were really able to like hone in onto what became the priority and the discipline, like you said, Rashana, the discipline.
Okay, so we know that everything is not all rosy in the cryptocurrency space, especially as we're learning, you know, when you're early on on your crypto journey. And you kind of alluded to this earlier on when you were speaking. So can you share a failure or a setback that you maybe experienced that taught you a valuable lesson in the cryptocurrency on your cryptocurrency?
Yes. Maine and I thought that we could, I want to say we thought we could flip crypto like some of these day traders.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, we did well at certain points. We did do well at certain points, but we got our ass busted.
Served. It was served. I'm sure.
It was served because we weren't. It's not the fact that you can't do it, but the biggest learning lesson was that we didn't keep up with the day-to-day of the market, right? Yeah. The day-to-day of the coin. When to pull out, when to take profit.
Woo! Talk about it. Jump on it.
You let it ride. And it's like, take profit. Yeah. So, you know, we were into like a lot of different coins. We were learning stuff. You know, we were like, oh, buy this, buy that, buy this. And it's like sometimes we were jumping on just anything, right? And it was such a learning lesson that we can laugh about it now. It definitely hurt.
I'm still not laughing. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. I can't laugh about it yet.
I go through some financial trauma. You need some financial soul healing. I got you, girls.
Yes, I do. I really do. Because I still can't laugh about it yet. It was bad. Certain situations were bad, like, because the excitement of certain things, and that's what kind of got it. It was like the excitement of certain things and not knowing how to control your excitement and thinking that you are FOMO, fear of missing out. There you go. That's it too. That fear of missing out, thinking you're going to miss out. Oh my God, no. Did you see this one? No, this is it. Let's just go ahead and do a little bit. And before you know it, like I said before, a little bit adds up to a whole lot. And so therefore it can become, it can become traumatizing. It really can be. I mean, I'm still trying to lay on someone's couch and talk about
it. Remember, we never forget. We remember, right?
Yeah.
So questions. Yes. How do your family and friends react to your investment in cryptocurrency? Do they support you in that? Have you encountered skepticism? What's that?
Thought you was cray.
I mean, they say as long as it's not their money, for the most part, that's how a lot of them go. They be like, "Hey, do what you want to do. Like that's y'all's money." Of course, you have a few that are more accepting and wanting to know about it, but just in general, anything new is so hard to try to get people to understand and to accept until it's to the point where it's so big, it's now too late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's kind of when we have. I'm not going to say everybody. I'm not saying everybody around us is like down for the cause, but you have a few. Would we like to have more? Possibly, but it's one thing that we also learn too. We're not jamming nothing down nobody's throat. You can't do that. Right. You cannot do that.
All you can do is share the information. You can't, bring them to the water. If they drink, it's on them.
We've done
Right?
that
Yeah.
and been burnt out.
Right. So would you say that would you say that any of that in the sentiment amongst your family and friends has changed at all since the ETFs are being, started being introduced or approved? Have they has anyone come back to you and said, oh, maybe this is a thing?
Yeah, so like basically when the price of Bitcoin started jumping, and then you started to hear about it more in mainstream news, then of course me and I started to get the text. Oh, here comes the text. Here comes the DM. Right. Here comes people asking us, oh, what's up with Bitcoin? Oh, what's up with this? And it's just like, we still respond, and we still just because you weren't listening when we were talking about it a couple years ago doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it now with you. Right. It just shows that, when you start hearing about it on mainstream media, you really should be paying attention. And it's just like Maine always uses the example of literally with like Amazon and or Apple sometimes, depending on the age group that we're talking to, right? So it's like you're given this opportunity to hop on or to invest in something at the very beginning, and she always says it's like when people invested into Amazon, whatever, how long ago it was, or when people invested into Apple back when we were kids, right? And you realize where they are now. And we're not talking about people investing millions of dollars. We're talking about small numbers, but because the company grew so large, those small numbers became large numbers.
It became
right?
Yeah.
So people have a tendency to contact us more or to reach out, of course, when the buzzwords are happening in, social media or any type of,
traditional
media.
news.
Yeah. And that's fine. We accept it, but it's also too like times when we were trying to talk about it, years ago. People sometimes would, they say, oh, you guys are conspiracy theorists. You guys, we got all types of varying comments that were just like, no, this is just, there's actually science behind this. There's actually documentation. There's a white paper. This isn't just us saying, oh, this happened because of this. No, there's, we can verify this. There's proof of work.
Yeah. And beyond that, many of the banks, while they were telling the general public not to invest in it, they were buying it. So I'm just like, yeah.
And to your point, to your point about just family and friends, and again, the idea of them jumping on to this new craze of investing. You're a family member, your wife, you have children, you guys have your jump on girls platform, and Life is Lifing, and you're doing cryptocurrency. How do you prioritize between the self-care and also investing and being present in this market to not only help your family, yourself, but others? How do you prioritize the self-care? Because mentally, we know, we just talked about financial trauma. We talked about losing money in this space and where it can go.
I mean, for me, I can be 100% honest. I'm still coming out from a crash and burn. And so it's just like now baby steps, like literally like baby steps. Now with the information and the knowledge that we have, it's like, learn to really take your time with it. And it's always about, like, I've always been taught, don't chase after money. Like, that's the worst thing that you can ever do. Don't chase after money. So it's like, if it's meant, it's going to happen in the way it's supposed to happen. It's going to fall in the way it's supposed to fall, especially if, you've done the research. If you have all of your basics kind of down, and then it falls into place, then it's supposed to be. Don't force anything. So it's like, for me, I've literally had to learn, like, take a big step back and just kind of go what I feel. Like, I can't go with what somebody is saying. Like I've literally had to learn, like, I don't care what you're saying, because what might work for you, it might have worked for you at that point in time. And then now, because it's to me, it might not work, because that's been our situation too. A lot, we've had people to say, oh, look at this, look at that, look at that. And at the time that they had it, it was great for them. But because we happen to come in a little later, it wasn't great for us. So it's one of those things where it's really just going off of a feeling after you've done the research or whatever, and just taking your time, like, because it's not, you can't be a race. None of this is a race. It has to be a marathon. It's forever. So for me, it's like I really had to burn out to understand, okay, it only takes me one time to learn. Now, I'll tell you that. Trust me, you don't have to worry about me going hard in certain areas like I was before, because I understand. And and that's what it's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be like, okay, you crash and burn and then you go back and you do the same thing over and over and over again. So now it's just literally taking the time and understand. We would always hear from some of my peers like, y'all are going to learn. I mean, I know y'all excited, but y'all are going to learn too. It's only, it's only one true one. And let's just talk about when it comes down to Bitcoin. It's like, it's only Bitcoin is it. Like, you want that guarantee, Bitcoin is it. Like, we would always hear that, And then as we got on to certain things and just jumped into certain projects and stuff, we're like, man, this is not where it's at. So just really honestly taking the time, learning from the mistakes, and taking much more smaller steps than prior.
Is there a book or resource that you've used to that's greatly affected your knowledge base in the cryptocurrency industry? Just wondering.
So let's just talk about like money in general. Creature of Jekyll Island.
Yeah. That's a good one.
When I mean, Tima and I could have literally did just like a podcast of me and her reading it, because it'll probably would have been the most comical thing of all, because of just like the reaction, like how we were reacting to the book, the things that we learned. Like, oh my God, did you hear? Wait a minute. Read that line again. Do you know what that means? Like, so that book overall, let's just talk about money, opened our eyes up when it came down to that one. Like, that one still is a stamp. And then what is it? Bitcoin Standard.
I had that.
Yeah. Those are the first two that I can literally say off the top of my head that really impacted the way that we looked at things. And like I said, this journey overall has just been more than learning about Bitcoin. It's been a whole entire reset for our life, like our whole entire life, and how we want to change so many things that we never thought that we would think about changing. Point open our eyes to that, because having control over your stuff.
Okay, she broke up. So has your journey into cryptocurrency impacted your sense of purpose and or fulfillment in your life in any way?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now we hear
yes.
You.
Yes. Like, oh my God, I don't even want to get too deep on how it's impacted, but what it's done mostly is it's caused us to think outside the box, right? To think that you're, like we said, growing up, we were taught that this is a way to do life, right? This is the path that you should go down. This is the best, safest way, right? So it causes us to think outside the box, and it causes us to take risks, right? Because whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Apple, or whatever, kind of change the trajectory of like technology over a course of years, you still had to take the risk to say, okay, I'm going to do this, right? So like, it's impacted. So that being said, it's impacted me personally. I don't know, like, I know Maine feels the same way, where just because somebody tells you to do it this way, or just because you've learned it this way, doesn't mean that that's the only way to make money, right? And then on top of that, just because, you know, you may have learned that this is the safest way to invest your money, hey, there's other ways to make money in this life. There's other things that you can do to grow your money. There's other ways to passively impact your life. So for me and for us, it became more than just financial literacy. Like it became, like I said, health. It became, oh, now we want to grow food. Now we,
right.
you know, I make my own toothpaste now. You know,
Oh, it's all yes.
You know, I was already like, we were already kind of like, you know, understanding how, especially in our community, in our culture, like health is like major, major, right? And honestly, like most people we know that are in like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, like they're not walking around looking like the 75% of Americans that we know of.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's like a weird, like, it's just weird how that is, because I think you get into crypto, you get into Bitcoin, it's just like, oh, I need to be really focused. I need to be aware. I need to be present. I need to understand all this that's going on. And on top of that, it's like, okay, well, also too, I want to eat better. I want to sleep more. I want to be able to wake up and catch these markets and catch these dips and catch these highs. Like it impacts your life tremendously. And it's like, it doesn't just impact your life when it comes to money. It impacts your life when it comes to mental, physical, and emotional, honestly.
You broke it down beautifully. And I love it because I have a workshop coming out. Like I told you, on Financial Soul Healing. The workshop is Do All the Solution. But we are going through the basic things you just stated: the mental, the emotional, the physical, right? The spiritual aspect of it. And most people are not hearing into Bitcoin. They think it's just money. It's like, it's the whole pieces of the pie. It's everything. It's how you're nurturing yourself.
Everything, literally
everything.
Because
you feel better when you're nurturing everything, right? And now you're focused and you're clear on your mission, and just like you're doing now, you're jumping out, letting people know how to build and sustain legacy. Right? You're just using Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as a tool, right, for your goods and services to create what you want. I think that's the message you've been consistent with, Fatima, as well as Maine, about this is a life-changing experience. This is a lifestyle.
So is there anything that you hope to do in the future as you've I'm sorry?
I want to see your face.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's change the screen here. Okay. So is there anything that you'd like to do in the future, you know, as you become, you know, as your success increases down the road, in order to give back to the community or anything like that? Do you have plans for anything in particular?
Yeah, I think honestly that we want to make sure that we really are able to give back, right? So really the younger generation, our children, really be able to, and it's not so much like we're implementing this now, we're doing this now, we're starting this now, where we want to set up like workshops, right? So a lot of times people, you know, there's so many different kids and children that are learning about Bitcoin, and you know, there's books, there's games, there's all these resources, and it's like to be able to set that up for our community, for the mothers, you know, for the fellow homeschool environments, if you're in traditional public school or private school environments, to start at a younger age with understanding blockchain technology, because it's going to evolve into so much more than what we understand now, right? This thing is going to take off. And I think for Maine and I, just to be able to like talk to other moms and have these workshops where it won't, you know, it won't just be focused on Bitcoin, but just understanding technology, understanding financial markets. Like Rashana, you know, you're real, where you say like the top 5 things the top 5 words you should know, or top 10 words you should know, right? Like,
thank you.
People like just those basic things. Like you should still be aware of the world, aware of markets, aware of financial terms, aware of what's going on. And I don't know if CNN is talking about, hey, this price of I don't know, Exxon is going up. Like people don't understand what that is. People still don't even know what taxes are. People don't even understand what a 401k is. So for Megan and I, it's really setting up these workshops and really talking back and giving back to the community with fellow moms, fellow women, you know, in our community, and just helping them understand and teach it to the children. Because I know it's like, oh, the typical statement, oh, you know, each one teach one, but it's really, that is what it is. It's giving back and you know, teaching our children and our children's children, so that way they're more aware and they're more prepared than what we were.
Ashe, yes. And Maine, if you want to chime to that, you know, awareness of you guys giving back as we continue to begin to come to a close, really just seeing your vision, why you even got into it, and how it's really the ripple effect, just echo to the world of what your guys are creating and changing. So what's your thought? What you want to share, Maine? Because I know you're passionate too.
I mean, I pretty much what Seema said or whatever. We definitely want to communicate this with other, you know, women, other moms. More importantly, you know, we want to speak to our Black women, you know, our Black. Like, I mean, I would be lying to you if I was to say something that would not be at the top of the list. And I'm not trying to sound, I don't really care how I sound, because we all know, as Black women being on this phone, we know how finances has been in our communities for a very long time. You know, we never had an issue with making money. Let's be very clear.
Very clear.
We never had an issue with making money. It was being able to have the knowledge to put it in the right places so it can grow, so it can things and educate in our community. Like, I'm not even going to fake like it's not. Almost every other stands.
Okay. Tima?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Charmaine?
Yeah, so what she's saying is like the education, and it's just like, we as Black women, you know, sometimes it's like she said, we don't have an issue making money, but it's just like making sure that we understand how to keep that money.
Absolutely. Am I breaking up again?
Okay. Yeah.
It started. I'm sorry. It started to storm. Yeah, it's starting to storm.
Okay.
So that's probably one of
You said invest in your safe. You said invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
can you all hear me?
Okay.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So as we basically go in closing, right? This has been not only a challenge, but a challenge to show that when it comes to you wanting to give a message, there's no stopping us.
No.
We're talking about when it's time to echo the truth to the world, we're gonna jump on it and make it do what it do. Right now, I want to ask you guys before we close off to the world, what do you want the world to jump on?
Rain, can you hear? Can you hear us? Okay, so I'll go.
I can hear you now. I'm sorry. I'm really going now.
No, you're good. I want the world to jump on. How can I word this? I want the world to jump on objective thinking, if that makes sense. Okay. So what I mean by that is verify, don't trust, right? So always, like we say in, you know, crypto and Bitcoin, they say, don't trust, you know, verify, but don't trust, right? So it's just like, a lot of times in the world and people, we tend to just believe everything we see, right? Like the media can say this, the newspaper can say this, your homegirl, your husband, whoever. Like, no, you should verify information. Really do your research. Understand what someone's telling you. Don't just always believe what someone tells you. Like, really understand that everything that we've been told, I'm not saying everything we've been told is a lie, but understand that there's so much information out there that we haven't been told because you're not asking questions. You're not verifying it. You're just like, oh, okay. Oh, all I need is a 401k. All I need to do is just save my money. Okay, that's it. Right? Like, no. Be more objective in your thinking. Be more critical in your thinking. Be like, oh, hey, what else is there out there? Hey, go to your fellow person. Ask them questions. Hey, what are you investing in? What are you doing with your money? Ask questions. Ask questions. Don't trust, verify. Verify. That's my, like, for the world. Like, stop believing everything that we're being told. Like, hey, it's just so much more out there. There's so much more information out there. Is my message. I think Maine, I don't know if she's broken up, but I'll let her go if she's available. Maybe not.
Maine.
Okay.
Well, let everyone know. Go ahead. I can't read that.
I can't read either. Okay. So we want to give a shout out to some of the people in the community who are here.
I don't have my glasses on, guys. I have my contacts on, so sorry. We love y'all.
Yeah. So, hey, what's up? Let me see. Love Lust or Bust.
Oh, love you, April.
Yeah, hey, April.
Alexander.
Thank you. Yeah. Let me see here. Who else is in here?
Dylan. Thank you, BK Creek.
About into school. Did you learn about it in school?
No,
we
didn't learn about it.
You didn't learn about the intricacies of it. You surely didn't learn about whole life insurance. You surely didn't learn about like stocks and everything. So that's why it's really important for us as adults to learn as much as we can so that we can pass that knowledge on to our children and prepare them. Who's what? And prepare them. No, she's not. And prepare them for their future and set systems in place. Learn about trust. Learn about that a will is not enough for those in the back. A will is not enough. Consider a trust. And there are various types of trusts. And you can surely, chime over to BK Crypto Coach because we have monthly free events and some other just straight educational courses that you can jump on and learn more about all sorts of different things in the financial realm.
So I want you guys to follow JOG on Instagram. Please share with them, Fatima, how they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Jump Out Girls, everything's Jump Out Girls. You can email us at info@jumpoutgirls. We do respond. And, this was a great stream. Even though we had a lot of technical difficulties, we worked through it. I apologize for that. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to meeting you in person. I look forward to coming to some of your events. I look forward to doing this again. We can talk for days and hours about this, but I just really thank you so much. I appreciate you. My cousin appreciates you. We love to see some familiar faces, and thank you again.
Yes, thank you, Stacks, for connecting Fatima.
Thank
you, Stacks. Thank you, because that's the connection, that's the integration, that's the community. Stacks basically houses trading on our platform for the community. And so what I want to bring before we close is that we are bringing something at the end of the month, June 22nd. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be DeFi and really understanding that aspect of how you can really become your own bank and how to sustain yourself in this platform using your own money, but to also really dig deeper in DeFi and your billing, as well as using whole life insurance. So stay tuned for that course. It's coming up. It's life changing.
Yeah. So follow us on BK Crypto Coach. Actually, just go to BK Crypto Coach and just leave your email and we'll send you some information about any and everything that's coming up. Okay. Thank you, ladies. It was wonderful having you guys. We give you grace. We look forward to having you back
and meeting you in person.
Yes, and this time we'll be on our laptops, not our phones, because
listen, we always following y'all. Y'all always got something real to say. That's why I love y'all. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any way we can get you, we're happy. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Music. Mm-hmm.
Putting on the music.
I know.
There we go.
Playing
Hey,
out.
whatever it is. Hey.
I don't know what's going on.
Break free, push boundaries to the sky. No limitation.